Hey guys, Kaylin at Elbenville Farm. Now that I've decided to do my video in the greenhouse so I didn't get wet, the sun's coming out and it's getting really hot in here, so now I'm going to melt, but I'm going to do it anyways because as soon as I get outside, it's just going to start raining again. Okay, this is not going to be one of my normal videos. Things have gotten really crazy lately, and so a bunch of those have been put on hold, but I do promise I'm getting back to those. I just got to get some more things settled first. Today's video is just to share some garden planting advice with you guys, and then to share a discount code if you guys want to save 10% on some heirloom seeds. I'm going to start with a discount code because I hate being made to watch an entire video just to get a discount code, so I'm just going to start with that. Y'all know how much I love Mary at Mary's Heirloom Seeds, and her seeds are amazing. Germination rate has been great for me on those. And she offered me a discount code for my followers, subscribers, to be able to get 10% off of new purchases of seeds of $15 or more at her website. So all you have to do to use this is go to marysheirloomseeds.com, order $15 worth of seeds, and at checkout enter the code PREPNOW, and I'm going to have my husband put the code right up here. If the code is not here when you watch this, this is all on him. He's now editing and uploading my videos. It's just a little too much for me to try to keep up with everything, so he's taking that over. So if the code's not there, that's all on him. Anyways, at checkout, enter PREP NOW, and you'll save 10% on orders over $15 or more at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. And there are tons of different heirloom seeds over there. The reason I went with the code PREP NOW is, I know this seems like a weird time of year to be purchasing your seeds. I know a lot of people do it, myself included. Start in January, end of winter. However, this year I was thinking about the fact, like, I was out in the garden looking around and I realized I had grown, they're called Royalty Purple Potted Beans, and I did get them from Mary's. I realized I hated green beans, and these are purple beans, but when you cook them they turn green, and nobody knows that they were purple. And the reason I loved them is when it was time to pick, instead of missing all these green beans, they're bright purple. You see them very, very clearly, and you don't miss any. And I realized I didn't want to order any other types of green beans. I only want to order those. And there's a good chance if I wait till January to start deciding what I'm ordering next year, I'm going to forget things like that. So if I do it right now, while I can literally walk around in my garden and see, that I planted way too many tomatoes, but I didn't plant enough beans, then I know I need to order more bean seeds and less tomato seeds. And, or if I had a specific type of tomato that did terrible, which it did. I had some little tiny tomatoes that every single one of them has had blossom and rot. And yes, I know that's a calcium thing. However, some of the other ones didn't have that issue, so it seems like it makes sense to not order those ones anymore and stick to the ones that did really good in my beds. So even though it seems like a weird time of year, since most of us are, especially if you're in Zone 6, we're starting to wind up our gardens because we know our first frost is just coming in about a month and a half or so. If right now, while we can walk around in our gardens, see what things we manage to harvest really well and really easily, then we can make an order right now to get more of those. We're not going to forget while we're literally looking at the things that did well versus the things that, maybe they got really bad bugs, that kind of thing. So if we do it now, we'll be more prepared for next year because we're not going to forget, and we'll know what things went well. Now, I also know that there are some of you who have the handy dandy little garden planners, or you keep a notebook and you write all this stuff down. And so, unlike some of us, you're probably not going to forget in, late winter what things you wanted to get. And so prepping right now for your garden next year might not seem like, the best idea per se. However, unless you've been living under a rock, I know you know what's going on in the world and the country and all that good stuff. Prices are going up. There's a whole lot of tensions that, in other countries and here that just, it's a little iffy. So even if you're not prepping your garden for next year because you're afraid you're going to forget what you liked, now would be a good time to be ordering some seeds just in case things go wonky before seed ordering time. Worst case scenario, you don't plant them till spring anyways. I mean, you were going to order them anyways, so having them now does not hurt you if you end up not needing them early. But what happens if next spring, when it's time to order seeds normally, you realize that maybe shipping is taking incredibly long times, and so you can't get what you need in the time period you need. Or what if there's seed shortages? You know, I mean, we've had quite a few shortages. I know finding mason jar lids has been a nightmare. So having the seeds on hand is going to be more helpful than if you would wait till January, you know, or February, whenever you guys order seeds. If you wait, you run the risk of not having them when you need them. So I would get them now. And then as far as planning what to order, so if you're walking around your garden and you're seeing what things you needed more of, what things you needed less of, that makes it a little easy to decide what things to order. If you're ordering right now because you're prepping, and I am a prepper, and I know I don't do very many videos. I'm not sure I've done any videos about prepping, and I may later. I don't know yet, but I am a prepper, and I do believe in having the things I need situated already. And if you're a homesteader or a farmer, you kind of are a prepper anyways. I mean, you can't very well have, you know, 50 rabbits that need fed and not make sure you have enough rabbit feed stored to get it. I mean, you can't run out of feed, you know. As far as, you know, seeds, most of us tend to keep some extra seeds. I mean, we almost always order new seeds too, but we try to keep some extras just in case something goes up. You kind of prep without meaning to as a farmer or homesteader, but if you're someone who is not a farmer or homesteader, you should be prepping. It doesn't hurt to have an extra month's worth of food. It certainly does not hurt to already have your seeds on hand since you don't know what's coming or what you may need. And then as far as what varieties to pick, what you need to do is sit down and think about what your family eats every week. Most of us all eat the same thing every week, every other week. I mean, we have routines. My family eats green beans at least once a week, every single week, which means if I'm going to grow my own green beans, I need to make sure I grow enough that I can get basically 52 jars of green beans. Which sounds a little overwhelming, but once you start, you know, growing your own stuff and canning your own stuff, it really is not that scary. But, you know, sit down and think about the things your family eats. There is no point in growing turnips if nobody in your family eats turnips. I mean, then you're going to have a whole bunch of turnips that, sure, I mean, you could eat if you had to, but do you want to? You know, pick the things you know you're going to eat. If your family goes through salsa like crazy, grow peppers and tomatoes. You know, decide how many jars of salsa on average you guys eat. And then there's lots of handy websites that will give you an idea of how much to grow based on how often you're consuming something. So go to some of those websites and get some ideas about how many tomato plants you need to plant, how many peppers, what types. Corn, if you've got a lot of space and your family eats corn all the time, grow some corn. I tend to not grow much corn just because it is a space hog, and I have family members who grow acres of corn and I can just buy my corn from them. But, you know, think these things through and think about what you use and what your family likes and, you know, how much you think you need. If you plan now, you're going to be way less freaked out later if something does happen. I mean, and it doesn't have to necessarily be like a world event. If the breadwinner in your family gets injured and loses their job, you know, yeah, you're probably going to get unemployment and workers' comp and that kind of stuff, but that stuff takes a while to kick in. So if you've already been prepping and having this stuff, then you're not going to be scared or freaking out during that time period while you're waiting on those benefits to kick in. So, I mean, there's really no reason not to be prepping, and there's no reason not to order your seeds early. And if you guys want to see some prepping videos, give me some ideas of what you'd like to see, and I'll see what I can do. But I mean, definitely be thinking about things. You know, whether you're preparing next year's garden just because you don't want to forget what your favorites were or what you needed more or less of, or if you're preparing next year's garden because you're worried that, you know, things may get a little crazy. Either reason is a good reason to go get seeds. And if you're going to go get seeds, you may as well get seeds at a discount. And like I said, Mary's seeds have done amazing for me. Like, I think the only time I use seeds that aren't Mary's is if somebody's given them to me, or if I impulse buy them when I'm at the store and see the nice, pretty, shiny racks of seeds, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta have all of that. But as far as planting my garden, I only buy my seeds from Mary's if they're for my planned stuff. So, that's all I've got today, and I appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget, go to marysheirloomseeds.com and use prep code, or the discount code PrepNow, and get you some seeds. I'm going to put I have an affiliate link with Mary, and I'll put that in the description, but I don't care if you use it or not. I mean, if you use it, I may get some kind of, I don't know what to call it, but usually I get like a commission, I guess is what you would call it. But I don't care if you use my affiliate link or not. MarysHeirloomSeeds.com, whether you go through my affiliate link or just go to the website. But use the discount code PREP now, because the more people who have their seeds ready, the less I have to worry about people showing up needing stuff. And I do worry about people. So if you guys already have your stuff, that's less people for me to worry about. So once again, thanks for stopping by, and go get some seeds. Bye.